What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here on the Odd Shopper channel, coming to you with another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Goes a long way for me on this video. Goes a long way for you. That way you become a prize whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. We got BetMGM on board per usual here. Good stuff by them. You can sign up for that in the video description box below. Go ahead and get a jump start on it, because if you have DraftKings and you have FanDuel, add another sports book to the portfolio, because then you can shop for the best lines every single day. There's a couple on Monday. Best available line at BetMGM. 2 of my 10 plays. Now, here's the thing. 2 isn't a whole lot, and you're like, oh, well, I don't know about the 5 cents, 10 cents. Well, between the incentives that you have and then the longevity of having another sports book where it's like, hey, this is a 10, 15 cent difference. Why wouldn't I bet it over there? You want to be checking out BetMGM. But either way, just wanted to throw that out there from the get-go. It's only if you're 21 and over. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. But of course, I missed you this weekend, my friends. Good to be back here in the house. Excited to get after it. June was fire. Now, Friday sucked, but June overall was fire. Hopefully you enjoyed that. I did not enjoy the fact that we didn't get to target Matthew Liberatore and Mr. Severino on the mound in St. Louis and New York, because then Severino gets absolutely shelled on Saturday. Just ridiculous stuff. Would have liked that over. Felt kind of like a freebie. But either way, we're going to be running towards a different New York Yankees pitcher. We'll talk about a perfect game, perhaps. Something that will, I don't know, live in infamy for me. I didn't even bet against him, though. So, I just didn't like him. It was just a lean. I'm a little bit mean to Domingo Armand. I'll apologize. But I'm also going to start the picks. We got producer Jacob here in the house. Good to have him back behind that waka waka, doing the stuff. I don't know why he's a DJ. That's my DJ. Go DJ. You know what? Let's just get this thing started, shall we? 10 games, 11 games? It's like something like that. It's going to be a lot of fun, though. 10 games, I do believe. Let's ride, my friends. Producer Jacob, let's get to the picks. First game of the day, and it's kind of an interesting spot right from the get-go. We have Houston and Texas playing, I feel like their 48th game in a row. Is this their 48th game in a row? It feels like it. All I know is we have 1 week. And then it's the All-Star break, baby. Yeah, you're not going to see me for like 5 days. It's going to be really sad. Actually, I might do something for the All-Star game. I'm still deciding. Let me know down below if you want All-Star game picks, because I find it to be one of the most profitable sporting events of the entire year. That's not even hyperbole. That's just an honest to God truth. Maybe something you should check out on the premium Discord. But either way, we got Christian Javier on the mound going up against Martin Perez. Both of these guys had their struggles over the course of this year. Now, Christian Javier really struggling of late. 4 runs or more in 3 of his last 4 starts. That's bad. The last one specifically in St. Louis was just a disaster. 2 homers, velocity was down, location was off. Location. But the big thing for me, bro, 4 outings. He has 6 strikeouts total. What? 21.8% K percentage now this season? The guy had a 33.2% K rate last year. What are we even doing here? Yeah, this is a pretty tough one. However, between the 2 pitchers, I still, despite the struggles, have more faith in him than I have in Martin Perez, who's kind of been living on a prayer. Oh, we're halfway there. I know a lot of you on your lakes, on your boats, you're going to be blasting that thing in 2 days. Enjoy that for me on a nice, lovely Tuesday, and then let me know how work feels on Wednesday. Either way, Martin Perez on the mound, going to be an interesting spot here. 10, 11 ground balls his last 2. Has more strikeouts than Christian Javier, which isn't saying a whole hell of a lot, because, well, Martin Perez this season, still a super low K rate. So 15.4%, that's way worse than even that of a disintegrated Christian Javier. It's really sad to see the fall off from him. But either way, my friends, am just going to be leaning towards the Houston money line. Best available line is at BetMGM right now, -105 on the money line. Everything else -106, I guess on FanDuel, so sent away. -110, though, across the board at DraftKings and Caesars. So just going to be a lean for me. I think this is pretty efficient. If I do anything, might be prop fest early in the morning, but we do have a lock this morning. Next game, let's roll it. The Chicago Cubs are playing a little bit late night baseball. I don't ever think about travel schedules because, well, for the most part, Major League Baseball players travel better than any of us. It's comfy. You're not exactly sitting shoulder to shoulder. Even NFL planes, because you have so many guys on a team, a little bit more compact. An MLB team, you're kicking back, you have recliners, you're just living the life because you got to know. I don't know how that came to be. Also, that was the highest pitch voice that has ever done something like that. But either way, we've got the Milwaukee Brewers hosting this Cubs team that started their game because the late start ended up being a 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern time start. Then they got to go to Milwaukee, which isn't that far away, but still going to be traveling, staying up late night. You know, still going to be a deal. And then a morning baseball game, morning, early afternoon. So just throwing it out there, something to think about. Julio Teheran, Drew Smyly. Now, starting pitchers travel ahead of time. They're not the ones I'm worried about. I'm worried about the Cubbies being able to swing an old bat because, well, they're not doing it here right now, even though I'm on the over of this game. It's 6-1, top of the 7th. I just need one run to get plated here. 7.5 ended up being the number. But you don't care about yesterday. You care about Monday. And I think Drew Smyly, he's just being Smiley. He's doing all right so far this season. Across the board, decent peripherals, 3.96 ERA, 1.29 whip. It just goes right back to the fly ball being weak contact. 32.8% hard hit percentage. There are going to be outings where we don't want to be behind Drew Smyly, but normally that's going to be when 20-mile-an-hour winds are rated, the hitters back in Wrigley Field. In Milwaukee, yes, plays up for a little bit of a hitter's park, but still, I think we'll be okay. I think we'll be okay here with Drew Smyly. I also think we're going to be okay with Julio Teheran, and this is just some wild stuff that we've seen out of him. I thought he was toast. I think most people thought Julio Teheran was toast. He has completely revived his career. A 3.86 ERA, 2.85 actual ERA, a 5.1% walk rate, and I did a deep dive on all of his stats here today. That will be available on Lindy's Locks update tomorrow morning. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get up early for you. Taking care of the kids for you. Just running around, being crazy, getting ready for the 4th, wanting to set off fireworks, doing the thing. But either way, I'm going to break down Julio Teheran in depth. You got to go follow me at my Twitter at Eric Lindquist. Going to be happy to do it. But if you just want the play, here's the play for you. Under 9 is a stone cold lock. It is my one lock on the board here. I could not feel better about having both these teams putting these two starters on the mound against these are just not very good hitting baseball teams over the course of this season. And while Milwaukee, I just backed Rich Hill, who had an awesome outing, by the way. I will play any lefty on planet Earth against this Milwaukee Brewers team. I just will. Over the course of this season, just horrific stuff that we've seen out of them. And if my computer would show me my K rate that I had updated, that would be great. 27.9%, the highest K rate in baseball, and a 77 WRC plus, only worse by Colorado. Colorado, anytime you're in a category with them, not good. I know, that's been on the screen there for a while. Under 9, though, my favorite play on the board, don't think it's remotely close for tomorrow. We got the Cincinnati Reds and Washington Nationals. Natty Light. Who's rocking some Natty Light tomorrow? I don't know. It's like 2-day weekend for a lot of people. Everybody's going out of town. I'm going to Vegas on Thursday. That's going to be fun. I'll save it all up for then. I'm just going to do nothing. I'm cool like that. Probably going to gamble a lot on baseball. Looking forward to it. Luke Weaver on the mound. Not looking forward to watching him pitch. Jake Irvin, same thing applies. Both of these guys, not great numbers. And yes, to everybody below, I know I couldn't be a major league pitcher, but I could still assess them and tell you that they're not very good relative to their peers. Just stop with that shit. 43.1% hard hit percentage, 355 xWOBA for Luke Weaver. Now, the hard contact isn't as prevalent for Jake Irvin. He's going to need that factor because the Cincinnati lineup's ridiculous. 36.3% hard hit percentage for Jake Irvin, but still has a 341 xWOBA, only a 17.4% K rate, 11.7% walk rate. And then, I don't know, there's some Cincinnati bats that hit the ball hard no matter what. So, pretty straightforward spot for me. Yeah, 10's a big number. It's a large number. I don't give a shit. We're going to take the over, my friends. Fire it up. Don't trust either of these pens. Cincinnati, I mean, they've been in some shootouts. Again, we run into a lot of big totals here, but as temperature's starting to ramp up here, we're starting to see it. Have you noticed? I saw the signs. Open up my eyes, I saw the signs. Nobody's going to drag you down to get into the light where you belong. The light where you belong. Next game. St. Louis heading into Miami. Decent little pitcher upgrade. Well, pitcher's park upgrade. Not pitching upgrade by Miles Michaelis standards, who's been brutal this season with a nearly 300 expected batting average, 353 xWOBA. Braxton Garrett going on the other side for the Finns. We got a 45.9% hard hit percentage, 260 expected batting average, but does have that 27.7% K rate. Still, you run into some bats that if it makes contact, it's probably leaving the yard. We'll get to that in a second. Know that I'm still looking at Jazz Chisholm. Good to have him back in our lives. Really like a young player that I just enjoy watching. If he does a 30.6% K rate, needs to figure that out. 227 expected batting average this season. Also not great. It's weird to say that maybe he's the second. No, Luis Arraez, it's incredible what he's doing. 333 expected batting average, going to be near that 400 mark. We'll be talking about that for however long. But I will say, it doesn't matter as much as having some power from time to time. Luis Arraez isn't going to be one of the highest paid baseball players anytime soon, is what I'm getting at. Just modern baseball, they're smarter than that. But Miles Michaelis might be targeting him with some bats. But Braxton Garrett, there's one bat in particular that anytime you put a lefty out there, just have the antenna on, the alert. Paul Goldschmidt, 57% hard hit percentage, 394 xWOBA, and a 543 expected slugging with a 15-degree average launch angle. Yes, it's a pitcher's park, but sometimes you get a price downgrade just because he's facing a lefty here in some of these spots in a tougher ballpark. And that, my friends, is tasty. Just saying, the guy had over a 220 WRC plus against all lefties last season, was just an absolute insane person. So lean that way, rock that way, lean that way, rock that way. Yeah, Paul Goldschmidt, my friends, he is going to be a lean to hit a home run. I want better than plus 320. If that is the case, ooh, it will be on the card. My favorite homer play, prospective homer play, based on what I assume the line's going to be. All right. I know. Domingo Germán, New York Yankees. Bet you were waiting for this one, friends. Of course, I'm on the show when Domingo Germán's going to pitch second time around after a perfect game. Great. I don't care if I do anything here. Probably looking at Baltimore. We've got on the other side of this one, Tyler Wells, a 214 expected batting average, 295 xWOBA, 26.5% K rate. And I say it time and time again, probably the only pitcher I have any sort of confidence in that starting rotation for these Baltimore Orioles. It's a thing that if they want to be competitive, if they want to actually make a push down the stretch with some of these young players that have emerged, some of these guys that just, your Adley Rushmans, just Gunnar Hendersons, your ridiculous 1-2 out of the pen. If you want to be making a run with these guys, you got to go get an arm or two. There's just no way around it because Tyler Wells is about all that they've got. Now, Cincinnati lost a pretty tough one there. He had pretty good stuff. 6 innings, 2 earned, just 4 hits there. In fact, he hasn't given up more than 5 hits in 6 straight outings, to be correct. So a .89 whip, 3.21 ERA. Yes, those are surface numbers, but sometimes when you have surface numbers like that over a long period of time, you're doing other things right. And that's just shown by his 26.5% K rate, 5.6% walk rate, 428 expected slugging, and 214 expected batting average, the best of his 3-year career thus far. So, good stuff by Tyler Wells. But Domingo Germán on the other side, I guess I should at least talk about him for 2.8 seconds. He had a really good game last time. I don't care. Guess what? One good game does not a pitcher make. Although, he put himself down in history. Absolutely incredible. Was really cool to watch. I tuned in like everybody else. The guy goes from giving up 7 earned and 8 earned to zeros across the board last game. Do you know how insane that is? He still has a 4.54 ERA despite a 1.05 whip, which is kind of a wild phenomenon. Speaks to the curveball. That was just rolling the other night. You get in a pitcher's park like that, and you get to face an Oakland team that's horrific against righties and everything lined up perfectly. This is not that spot here with Baltimore. We've routinely backed them against righties. This is another hitter's park, and Baltimore on this season, 102 WRC plus, just above the league average, but the big thing that stands out every time, a 170 ISO against right-handed pitching on the season on the aggregate for that projected lineup. So there you go. Baltimore, money line I know is on the screen forever. Sorry, producer Jacob. We continue on our merry way. That looks like somebody who's really excited to see fireworks, even though I absolutely hate fireworks. That's a conversation for a different day. Maybe we'll do that on the 4th. Fireworks suck. They're overrated. You know what isn't Overrated? Checking out BetMGM, my friends. That is what you need in your life. Not overrated. You're going to get tons of great deals like what you have on your screen. 2 free months of OS Premium Discord. My betting card, which in June was off the chain. Absolutely off the chain. It was beautiful stuff. But you're going to get 2 free months of that. But it's not just me. It's Eitan Shander's betting card. It's Ben Raza's betting card. Every single bet that we put in over the course of a week will be yours. Unless it's Saturday, in which case, well, if I put a bet in, I'm going to throw it into the Discord. Period. End of story. That's the way the cookie crumbles. But that's not all you're going to get at BetMGM. You're also going to get $1,000 back in bonus bets if your first bet loses. So here's how it works. Let's say you deposit $28.94. If it wins, you're going to get the winnings. But if it loses, you're going to get $29.84 back in bonus bets. Why that number? I have no idea. But that's up to you. However much you feel comfortable on, up to $1,000, you're going to be able to put in play and know that it will be coming back in your pocket in the form of bonus bets at BetMGM if that first bet loses. So take advantage of it to the fullest extent you can, because again, this is how you build and sustain a bankroll, but always do so responsibly, please. It's only if you're 21 and over, and if you have a gambling problem, please call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Already all halfway point, let's get back to the picks. I would really like Cleveland and Chicago to score one more run. I would really, really like it. We're now top of 8. I'm getting a little bit sweaty. Sweaty. Hey, at least it's the home team that's down. That's an underrated thing about live betting, although I haven't been doing a ton of that this season because why do it when you started to just smash your outrights from the get-go? Cleveland money line. We're going to be looking this direction here, and here is why. I know I kind of jumped the gun on this one. I don't normally do that for the people. I try to craft and zigzag. We got Bryce Elder on the mound here for the Atlanta Braves and the Cleveland Guardians. Gavin Williams, our guy. I love the fastball so much, friends. 29% hard hit percentage, 282 expected slugging, a 2.73 expected ERA, sub 3 ERA, and it's all about that fastball, friends. It is really something else. 306 expected slugging, 222 expected slugging, 230 expected batting average is actually the highest of his 4 pitches, which is kind of wild, considering it has a 167 batting average against. Good stuff by this young pitcher. And hey, if that changeup is going to be as filthy as what we've seen, he's using it against lefties. That's only a pitch that he's throwing to lefties. He's only thrown it 13 times, but it's got a 33.3% whiff percentage and a 0. Yeah, you heard me. 0 slugging over the course of those 13 pitches. Good stuff from Gavin Williams in the repertoire. Really like looking into him, and hopefully he can continue to develop. This is obviously a horrific spot, a terrible, no good, very bad spot facing Atlanta. A 118 WRC plus do they have? They scored the most runs in the month of June. I don't care. This is called value, friends. Cleveland Guardians plus 138 at FanDuel Sportsbook. Now, it is very important that you don't just bet this because it is on the screen right now. You need better than plus 135. Hear me? Period. End of story. Now, there is a plus 135 over here at DraftKings. I'd be okay with that, but I'm saying 135 or better. You start playing a plus 130 here at Caesars, I don't want to see the ticket. I don't care. This is all about price shopping. Expected win percentage. I like Gavin Williams and that young stuff that we have from him. And I do think Bryce Elder is a little bit gettable still at this point in his career. It's just a 41.4% hard hit percentage, a 20.5% K rate, and you get just enough lefties here from Cleveland that I think we're all right. Yes, a 91 WRC plus isn't super inspiring. A 123 ISO is really, really bad. It's the league low in baseball, but you still get some of those lefties, the J-Rams, the Nailers. Hands up in the nailer. That's a like. Next game. My Minnesota Twins hosting the Kansas City Royals, who went absolutely berserk with the bats against the Dodgers. That was a nice backdoor W on the over. There's no doubt about that one, but Austin Cox here on the mound after getting shelled in his first start there last time around. He's been a bullpen arm for most of this season, for those who don't know. Joe Ryan hasn't been. He's a starter, and he's very good. We'll talk about him in a second, but I want to start with Austin Cox because this is a phenomenon that I don't think it goes undervalued by any means, but one of the probably mistakes that I made of last week, I wanted to fire the over on that Kansas City and Cleveland game, and I didn't do it because I'm like, Austin Cox has really good numbers, 2.25 ERA, 0.88 whip. Oh, he might be good. He's got a 39.5% hard hit percentage, a 24.6% K rate, but you know what? It's a lot different when you're doing it out of the pen than being able to start and go the distance. I can find my way. We're not going to go that way. We've got Austin Cox, though. Last time out, 4 earned runs snowballed with that bullpen. 14-1 shellacking there. He takes the L in his first official start. But again, maybe he improves here. I'm a little bit worried about this as a spot in general, and I'm a little bit confused by this 7.5 number. This actually projects out for me in the modeling as a like play, so take that for what you will. But I'm pumping the brakes on it purely because I don't trust this Minnesota lineup in its current iteration. I do trust Joe Ryan. There's no doubt. A 261 xWOBA, a 213 expected batting average. Really doing a great job of getting whiffs on pretty much every single kind of pitcher that he's thrown out there. He added this split finger that has just gotten ramped up in usage. Last season, he only threw it 21 times, as far as I'm able to find on my chart. He's up to 460 versions of that pitch. It is now his secondary pitch next to that fastball, which we know at this point in time is still really good at preventing hard contact, has a 204 expected batting average to it, but this split finger has been a better pitch across the board, but he gets more whiffs still in the four seam for what it's worth. But a 171 batting average against with a 197 expected batting average with the split finger. Love seeing this pitch. He is utilizing it nonstop against lefties. It's the Shohei Ohtani way. This is the way, friends. This is the way. But I think that also hurts when I'm projecting out the over as the spot that I want to be getting to here. It looks like it's an interesting humid spot. Looks like you could have some weather in Minnesota tomorrow. Hey, I'll just hit up my parents because I think they're going to the game. I don't know. I should probably call them. Happy 4th of July, Mom and Dad. Love you. Over 7.5, just a lean. I gotta say, out of any pitcher this season that we've routinely made money on from the beginning of the season until now, it's probably Blake Snell. And I get it. It's been complete role reversal here. But somehow we really avoided and dodged the bullets because the good stuff has started to show up. And I just think the good times keep rolling here for Blake Snell. Now, Jaime Barria. You don't get that ever again if you pitch the way that you did last time out. 11-5, absolute shellacking. I was on the under. I'm an idiot. You're right. I'm wrong. You're good looking. I'm less attractive. But either way, Jaime Barria, 59 pitches, 5 earned, 3 home runs given up. Luis Robert going yard. Eloy Jimenez going yard. Everybody going yard. It was a really atrocious spot. He still has a sub-3 ERA, 1.18 whip on the season here. But similar to Austin Cox, I can't just extrapolate data and say it's one thing for one pitcher and one thing for another. It's the same concern that you have when he goes from a bullpen arm to somebody who's a more lengthened out starter. However, he, as opposed to Austin Cox, we have more of a sample size of him as a starter, had started doing it about a month ago here for these Angels because they need pitching very badly too. Reed Detmers trying to hold down the fort. Not successfully. Maybe something will change. Maybe they can go get somebody for Ohtani. Otherwise, he's going to be a Dodger, and we're all going to just watch them melt teams with Freddie Freeman. That'll be fun. Oh, Mookie Betts is okay too. Anyway, Blake Snell has been exceptional here the last couple. Yes, he gave up 2 earned really, really quickly there to Pittsburgh, but held down the fort, 6 innings pitched, 10 Ks. These Ks are just exceptional now. He's back to the ridiculous stuff. 4 straight games of double-digit Ks. I think he makes it 5. This Angels team is primed for hitting against lefties. No doubt about it, but they are also primed for striking out an absolute metric ton. A 22.2% K rate doesn't really justify it when you're talking about a team that has a couple of guys that bat up at the top of the order who can do some crazy things, but also strike out a bunch. I'm talking about you, Mike Trout, 28.1% this season. Matt Tice up there, 25.4%. Mickey Moniak, who went yard today. Anybody see that one? 31% K rate. He might be in there against a lefty because just of how hot that bat's been. I think they might just ride into the sunset with him rather than, well, that's not true. They have Mike Trout, Taylor Ward, Hunter Renfroe. Maybe they DH Rendon on the back-to-back. Either way, things to pay attention to. Maybe I put in that projected lineup incorrectly. Regardless, I'm backing Blake Snell. 10 Ks, friends. Yes, 10 Ks. He is your lean because I need to see what these numbers look like, but this ends up being an 8.5. It's going to get slammed. slam your body down and wind it all around. Shout out Spice Girls. They're real ones. Next game. 2 more games to go, my friends. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell here. I'm burning the midnight oil here on a Sunday afternoon. That made no sense. That analogy went poorly. He chose poorly. I'm making my wife watch that tonight. We got to go to Indiana Jones this week. Seattle Mariners, San Francisco Giants. I almost said 49ers. Can you tell what season it almost is? Oh, we're getting close, friends. We got Logan Webb on the mound going up against Brian Wu. Love this arm. I think we've backed him a lot of late. I think we're looking at backing him again, but in a very odd place. San Francisco, another great pitcher's park, just like it is for him up there in Seattle. And he should be able to find a ton, and yes, I do mean a ton of strikeouts in this matchup against San Francisco. You're talking about a ridiculous 24.5% K rate against right-handed pitching here, and Brian Wu has some really good nasty kind of stuff, so that's useful. San Francisco also playing the Mets right now as we speak. Other side of the country, got to fly back to their side of the country. For all you travel folk, I have no idea how to factor it in. Just blindly betting as if the books might not have something in there on the numbers. I don't know how to project it, therefore I'm not going to act like I can, but I can project him and Logan Webb, another pitcher that we've backed a lot. The ridiculous ground ball rate, it's the thing I bring up every single time when I look at it. 2.5 degree average launch angle and a 61.7% ground ball rate. Highest amongst starting pitchers who qualify this season. It's absurd. Now, he started to give up more earned runs. We're talking 4, 5, 3, 3. Those are 4 of his last 5 outings. But I think the ground ball rate, I think the BABIP has to start going back in his direction. 14, 15, and 16 ground balls against St. Louis, the Dodgers, and Arizona. That's also a really hard schedule. Look at this schedule, friends. At Colorado, at St. Louis, at the Dodgers, home against Arizona, and still Arizona, and at Toronto. I can't think of a harder 5-game stretch that you could ever run into as a starting pitcher. Like, legitimately. This is like if you still had divisions the way that they were broken up and you played the AL East over and over and over and over and over and over, like Marshawn Lynch there. But just saying, Logan Webb, I think he finally finds some success in this matchup. A much better spot going up against Seattle as a right-handed pitcher than anything that he's faced here of late. I'm a little bit overly optimistic. In fact, I'm taking the under of 7. Yes, we're getting minus 105 here on it. I think I might wait. I think people are going to see the 7s and just start betting this one up. So I have a very, very small play that I ended up putting on it because I don't like to put like plays on the board if I didn't bet it. That seems pretty stupid. Like, have your betting analyst bet. That's an important thing. But either way, under 7 is something I want you guys really paying attention to, because if this thing gets up to 7.5, it becomes a lock on the under. We sadly, my friends, must bid adieu on the only game. No line. Goodbye. It's very sad. The projected starter would be, this would fall on Clayton Kershaw's start day, but I think he's going to get sent to the IL. He always gets dinged up at some point in the season. They limit his innings in a very prominent way. All that matters is that you get Clayton Kershaw back for these Dodgers healthy for the postseason. That's all that matters. He has a 2.55 ERA, 1.05 whip. He's been awesome. He had the shoulder deal that popped up after the Colorado outing. Just take him out. Left shoulder inflammation. Why even start him here? I think it's going to end up being Michael Grove, which is a disgusting thing to say. If it ends up being Michael Grove, oh my God, is this play absolutely going to be on the board immediately? But it's Mitch Keller. Comeback Keller, best frickin' dog in the East. There you go. 31.1% hard hit percentage, 282 xWOBA, 27.3% K rate. Ooh, daddy like you a lot. Terrible matchup. Don't think there's any doubt about that with a 112 WRC plus do these Dodgers have. Looking like it's going to be a little bit toasty there on Monday night in old LA. So just throwing it out there. Something to be paying attention to. But I think this works out equally in the favor of the Pittsburgh Pirates if it ends up being somebody like Michael Grove on the mound. Michael Grove is one of the worst pitchers. He's supposed to be good. I was promised that he was good coming into this season. It's not come to fruition, but it could be a lot of different pitchers. So I'm just kind of throwing it out there. Michael Grove would be an available guy that they would just recall here if Clayton Kershaw isn't going. Clayton Kershaw should not be pitching this game. Dave Roberts is going to show caution. I'm pretty positive of it. So we're going to lean on the Pittsburgh money line side of it. They're going to be dogs no matter what. Yes, it's Mitch Keller, but they will still be dogs because of their lineup. I think that's where the value will lie. I think I'll be backing them, especially if it's Grove, but lots to be determined. If you want to know if this ends up on my card, hit me up on Twitter at Eric Lindquist, or the best spot, BetMGM. And that does it for another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. You know what to do. Go to that comment section below. Let me know your favorite plays on the board for Monday's slate. Hopefully we can keep the momentum rolling here. I see the Mets are winning, but Dave Peterson got pulled. Needed those Ks. Whatever. Life is continuing on. We're going to have a great month. It's going to be exceptional there in that premium Discord. That's why you want to be signing up at BetMGM if you haven't already, because you'll get 2 free months of OddsShopper Discord access with moi, updating his card constantly here. Use promo code OSInsider if you don't click on that link, but the link should automatically include it. Cool stuff. Thank you to producer Jacob. Friends, if you're going somewhere fun, if you're going to be going out and setting off fireworks, I want you to enjoy. I want you to just be safe. I want you all to be safe, and let's bet a little baseball, shall we? I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the MLB streets on Monday.